Hey, what's going on? We are live right here at Industry's Most Wanted. You see it back there, right?
Industry's Most Wanted.
And it is your girl, TampaMystic, and tonight we are live. We have two special guests checking in. Not one, but two. Joshua Arnoux and the beautiful Anisa. How you all doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you both so much for being here. Joshua, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. Definitely my pleasure, my honor. I'm excited for everybody to understand your journey if they are not already familiar with it. But we'll start out with some brief introductions. We'll say ladies first. Arnisa?
So it's Anisa, and that's okay.
It happens all the time. Trust me.
Everywhere.
Where did the R from?
I don't know. It's okay. So I am a gospel recording artist signed to Arnoux Records, which is the label that Joshua Arnoux owns. Been doing gospel for a long time. And it was really after being signed to Arnoux Records that things started to really blow up for me. So I'm super excited to be here with you, to be with your live streaming, everybody to get to know us.
Absolutely. I think that's where I crossed his last name with your first name. That's where my apologies. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Absolutely. And Joshua, same thing.
Been doing music for a very long time, but primarily I'm a gospel recording label.
Okay.
Also, I'm a artist manager. So right now I'm managing 3 artists, which are Anisa Fowler, which is right here, Josh Copeland, and Chantel Norman Beatty. But then I also advise 2 others, which one is Lamont Sanders, and then also David Bratton. And then I do consultations, from time to time. But that's really my niche. I've been writing songs for a long time, producing songs for a long time. I mean, music's just in my blood, so that's what I do.
Absolutely. Joshua, with you working with so many artists, how do you balance it all?
I don't know. I have no clue.
I was wanting to know the secret.
Well, you know what? I've had a lot of people say, "You manage how many artists?" I'm like, are you sure that's good? It takes a lot, but I think some of the main reasons that I started managing so many artists was that in our industry, and I think just even in R&B and pop and everything, you find out how much artists don't really know. And I was an artist at one point, and I remember so many things I didn't know. So I really enjoy helping them, help them get to the next level in their artistry, and definitely as a business. So there's a lot to learn, and I'm just there to pretty much help them to get to the next level.
That is such a beautiful blessing right there. One thing that I know in life is, we don't get our blessings from no man. We get our blessings from God, but you are doing God's work. And I really commend you for that, because I previously did artist management years back, and it was a difficult task, and, but it seems like you have a phenomenal team around you. And I think that's one of the major key elements, is having artists that are hardworking like Anisa that we have here with us tonight.
And, I think I want to just chime in and say, when you talk about doing God's work, right before I signed to Arnoux Records, I said to God, I can't do this anymore. This is too expensive. And I love to sing. I love music. I know I'm called to do this, but my pockets are not working out. And if you want me to do this, you're going to have to make a way out of no way. And when Joshua called me to say, hey, I'm starting this label and I want you to be the first artist, I was like, me? What? So, we're talking about doing God's work. He really is. He's hearing from God, and he allowed God to use him to answer a prayer that he had no idea that I was praying.
No clue.
And so it's really just been a tremendous blessing.
That is such a blessing. Absolutely. Anisa, has it always been gospel music for you?
Always. I mean, Jesus all the way.
I know that's right. You better tell him.
It has always been gospel. Every once in a while, somebody may ask me to sing at a wedding or a corporate event. So those songs are not necessarily gospel music. Certainly songs that are inspirational and have good content. I'm not going to sing anything that's not going to please the Lord. So, yeah.
I love that. Absolutely. And really, I think we need to spread more of that, because we are in such a low vibrational place with a lot of the music that's out now, that's coming out. And whether people want to admit it or not, music is very influential to the younger generation. So a lot of these artists, I will mentor with them, or I'll sit down and, talk to them about different things and the style of music they're putting out. And I'm like, you have to be very proactive what you're putting out there into the world, because the younger generation, they don't know what's real and what's not. They just hear it by their favorite rapper or whomever it may be, and they think it's cool to go do certain things. So I love that you're spreading a beautiful message through your music.
Yes, thank you. We enjoy doing it, and we really do feel like if we don't do it, we're not doing what we're called to do, what we're
Absolutely.
alive to do, what we're here for.
I agree. So you're both from New York, Queens, right? To be exact.
Yes.
Okay.
Start off. Yeah.
You both live in different cities, but still in New York. How did you two? I know you connected, Joshua. You reached out about your label, but how did you guys initially meet each other?
Ew.
Okay. So actually, we've known each other since high school.
High
Okay.
school.
So
Yeah.
we're longtime friends. She's more like a sister to me at this point.
Yeah.
But so we've known each other since high school. We both went to LaGuardia, which is in Manhattan. So it's a music and arts school. So nothing but singers, dancers, actors. I mean, like it was one of the best experiences I've ever had for music in my entire life. It was a great experience. But so that's how long we've known each other. But so to call her was easy. But I must say I did have a lot of options and prospects to call. But you mentioned something earlier that's really important. Managing artists and they don't have the push to work hard. That's for the birds.
It is for the big birds. Let's just be honest. It's for the big birds.
It is because this industry is difficult. It
Yes.
doesn't matter if it's pop, gospel. It doesn't matter. It's all hard. It's all a lot of work. It's making connections. It's networking. It's trying to sign. It's so many moving parts. And if the person is not willing to work hard, I'm doing all this work, and you're just sitting over there waiting to reap the results. So she's not afraid of work.
Yeah.
And she had started her own YouTube channel at one point. She does her own content on Instagram. So the content you see there, she does that. I mean, just the work ethic was there. And to me, I wasn't going to put, my money unless I knew someone was going to work as hard as me. Because,
Absolutely.
it's just a lot of work.
You cannot want it more than them.
Yeah.
And that's
Sometimes artists really do want it, but they don't necessarily want to work hard.
Mhm.
And you have to understand that no matter how hard the people around you are working, if you don't work hard for yourself, you could end up losing because the people around you are working and you might not know. They don't necessarily intend on taking from you or hurting you, but you have to be in it. Know exactly what's happening with your money, with your brand, with everything.
Absolutely. You have to be very intentional with it because, I feel like people come into this business and they see how others have gained so much fame and they think that, oh, I can just post a couple times on social media and I'm going to blow up. And there's so much more depth to it than that. The whole artist development, I think, is almost rare now. A lot of people aren't taking the time to actually learn the process, the business, and then they wonder why they get scammed and they wonder why they're not making any money. And it's just, there's so much that goes into it. So Joshua, I definitely commend you for working with all the artists that you do and helping them on their journey and their path to greatness with their music, because obviously the ones that you handpicked and chose, you've seen something special in each one of them.
Yeah, I mean, each of them have their own successes. So Lamont Sanders, the one I consult from time to time, he has a number one Billboard hit. Chantel Norman Beatty, she has a number one Billboard hit. David Bratton wrote the song of the decade. It has a Grammy, and then Josh Copeland is an artist that was actually on a show called Sunday's Best that was done by Kirk Franklin. It was really big. It was on for a couple, I think, 11 seasons, I believe.
Wow.
On season 9, got a lot of notoriety from that, and he can sing his tail off. And then Anisa is an emerging artist, but she was able to reach points of getting to number 2 on the Indicator Billboard chart, and that was her first time out the gate. And being, just making waves. So yeah, I did pick people that I felt like had something going on, and so that I knew it was going to be a lot of heavy lifting. But bringing somebody from I already started with her to start from the bottom. But if you do that with everyone, that's I can't do that by myself.
No, absolutely. We have to have a team around us. I've been guilty in the past of trying to do everything myself because I was kind of prideful. And it took my business partner, who was older than me, to really say, it's okay to ask for help sometimes. It's okay to have people around you to take on various roles in what you're looking to do, because I feel like you can get to your ultimate goal a little bit easier and smoother and maybe even more quickly when you have other people involved and you're not out here trying to do 100 different things yourself.
No, you're right, but I want to say something to that too. I think it's not necessary. Well, I do the same thing, right? But here's the reason why, and I just said this to her a couple of days ago.
Mhm.
No one cares about your stuff like you do,
Oh yeah.
Hand, and that's
and
Yeah.
that's my problem.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And you know what? When I came to that realization, I didn't come to that realization in an angry way, but it was just like, wow, you really have to have people around you. Like we're doing a live recording next week, right? And it's all the artists that I consult and manage, and a bunch of other people are joining in too. And Anissa's been a huge help. She came alongside me and kind of helped things get organized and handle certain tasks and everything. But I had to tell them, like, you know what? No one cares about your stuff like you do. And if you get more people around you that care about it just as much as you do, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it easier.
easier. Yes. You are absolutely right. And I think that's why over the years, like I've always worked out of other people's studios who had a shared space. And I would find exactly what you're saying. When there's multiple people coming in using the same space, I would come in and it's dirty and, cords are missing, headphones are broken. And I finally came to the realization I need my own space. So I've had my own studio for 3 years now. And it's just like, it's so refreshing walking in and everything is how I left it, because nobody cares about our stuff the way we do, and they don't appreciate it. So you are absolutely right. And the same thing that when it comes to our business.
Hmm.
Nobody's going to care about it the way we do. And, very sometimes you will find people who will come into your life and they're going to be on the same, playing field that you are, but it is very rare.
Yes, it
um,
is.
Joshua, I know that you have a long background, 20 plus years in marketing and sales. And my background is also in marketing and sales. I did that for not as long as 20 years, but for about 12 or 13 years prior to coming in the music industry. How do you feel like having a background in marketing and sales has helped you transition over into what you're doing now?
Oh, so much. I mean, marketing and sales is all about consumer behavior, understanding how the people who purchase things and who consume things, how do they think? So when you bring that over to the music side, everything is about consumption now.
Yes.
Well, it's not so much about sales anymore, it's more about consumption. So if you can understand why people listen to this type of music, then you can find ways to get your brand or what you have, your product and offering in front of them and influence them to consume your stuff, sometimes over someone else's stuff.
Yes.
So I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's a litany of things I could say about what that background has brought to me, but it would be that, and also I would say, uh, not taking no for an answer. In sales, you have to have that.
I learned that as well, and not get offended when people tell you no. I did it for a very long time, and I worked with corporate America. I had some very large clients, Fortune 500 companies, and oftentimes, some of them were just so busy, like, no, I don't have time to talk right now. And I said, it's okay, move on to the next one, and maybe come back to them on another day and catch them on a little bit better day. Absolutely. Anisa, let's talk about some of your accolades. You were invited to the Stellar Awards and you walked the red carpet in 2022. Congratulations. Tell us about that experience.
That was absolutely amazing. It was just a crazy open door that, through the connections that Joshua made in the industry and where my song at the time covered was moving in the charts, that was able to get me that opportunity. And it was absolutely amazing. I look back at the pictures and I'm like, I did that.
Yes.
Yes, and I can't wait. That was kind of like a taste of what is to come. No way is that the thing that culminates everything. I can't wait till I'm on the stage and I'm receiving the awards. And I believe that God is going to open that door and it's going to happen.
Absolutely, it will happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yes.
It will, and congratulations. That is major right there, because I think that with all the hard work that you're putting in as a music artist, to even have been invited to be there is a major accomplishment. It's not every day you get invited to walk the red carpet at the Stellar Awards. Come on now.
No.
That is amazing. Shout out to, we've got a lot of people on Facebook checking in. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to everybody checking in over there on Facebook. We definitely appreciate you guys. We're live streaming on multiple platforms. We have Joshua and Anisa checking in tonight. We're talking about a lot of success that they both have seen and are continuing to see in their music career. You also, Anisa, you have a single that charted #2 on the gospel Billboard.
Yes, that was covered. And I still sing that song today.
Wow.
I'm constantly called to sing the song. It's a blessing. And I would say to artists that are out there, and you did a song, maybe you did it 5 years ago. Every single time you sing that song is an opportunity for someone who never heard it before to hear it again. Never get tired of your own music. If you're tired of your own music, how are you going to put it out there to people? So I will sing this song forever and ever and ever. It was truly a blessing. Josh wrote the song. I, added a few things to it, but it really came from heaven directly to Joshua. And when I heard the song, I was like, oh my goodness, this has done like yesterday. And we were in the studio right away and started working on it. Leading up to it, I got so sick I couldn't even talk for
Oh gosh.
several days. I was scared out of my mind. What is happening? And if you listen to the record, the end of that song, I hit some crazy high notes. The Lord came, healed all the things. And it was just wonderful. And so it's really been a blessing ministering that song and hearing it still playing on the radio today. And it's really been an absolute blessing. So y'all go check out Covered by Anisa Fowler.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that. That's another one of those moments in your life that really solidifies that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're truly walking your purpose.
Yes.
I love that. Joshua, how long have you been a songwriter for other artists?
Hold on. He came out his mother's womb with a pen and he was writing. That's how long. Okay.
Pen and paper out the womb.
There's some truth to that. I believe I wrote my first song when I was around like 12.
Wow.
When I was 12, and I had my brother and my cousin sing it, and we did it at a church that we were attending at the time. And I still remember giving me some love from heaven up above, like some weird, it's like real kiddie-ish, but it was like that was my first time writing a song, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can do this. But I do come from a musical family. My mom and her brothers had a band when they were teenagers. On my father's side, he can play multiple instruments. I have uncles who produce music, so it's in me. So, but it's been a long time.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing, because to meet people who's been sticking with something that they're passionate about pretty much their whole life, that is amazing, because life, as people say, life be lifing. There's a lot of things that go on that can throw us off of our game per se, and I love that you have allowed nothing to stand in the way of doing absolutely what you love since you came out the womb.
But you know what, too, though, I can't help it, which is what tells me that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I can't not write a song. I can't not produce or arrange it. I mean, like it's impossible for me to not do it. You have dry spells, but for the most part, I can't live without it. To be honest, it's just that way.
Understood. Do you play instruments as well?
Yeah, I play the bass guitar.
You play the bass guitar. How long have you been playing the bass guitar?
Since I was 18.
Wow.
I'm in my 40s now.
Okay. Well, you look 21.
Thank you.
Look, he said, see, no wrinkles. Got that good skin.
But no wrinkles.
That is absolutely amazing. Do you guys travel, or have you been traveling with your music?
Yeah, we've traveled a lot. We've been
Yeah.
to a lot of states. Actually, right before I signed to Arnoux Records, I got an opportunity to go to Italy, and I spent
Mm.
an entire month doing a gospel tour there. And I think that was kind of like um, somewhat of a breaking inside of me, coming out of my shell, coming out of the fear and anxiety of leaving what I felt was like a comfort zone in my original church that I was attending at the time. And that was kind of like the thing that catapulted me in my mind, and then coming back and having Josh be the answer to that prayer. And since then, we've been to everywhere in the US.
Yeah, it's been like
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Atlanta, Maryland, Vegas, uh,
uh, Nashville.
Nashville. I mean, like a lot of.
Yeah, we've kind of been,
Yeah,
and we've been back to several places multiple times,
yeah.
which is a blessing when you go somewhere and before you leave, they book you for the next time they're gonna have something. It's beautiful.
That is an absolute blessing. Absolutely. And when you do travel to these different cities, what type of events or shows are you guys typically doing?
It depends. Some of them have been showcase type events
Yeah.
where there are multiple artists.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time that I sang covered live, we hadn't released it, and we were at a church. I feel like that might have been one of the Carolinas. I don't
Mm-mm,
remember.
mm-mm. I think it was Nashville.
Oh, that one was Nashville. But yeah, so we sang the
It was
song,
Nashville. It was Nashville.
and we hadn't even released it yet. We were kind of just testing whether the song would do what we felt like it was going to do. And the plays went up. It was absolutely insane. So yeah, sometimes it's things like that where it's a ton of artists and it feels very like cut and dry, but God will still move when He means to move. And then there are other times like it's church events. People call us for various anniversaries, or if there's like a women's conference or something, I may get called to lead worship for that event. So it's a lot of that. And locally, it's about five churches that consistently call me. I'm literally at two or three churches every Sunday. For 2025, I said, I got to pull back just a little because I can't be going to 27 churches a Sunday.
Absolutely. You have to keep some time for yourself. I think that's important. We have to give ourselves grace because we tend to want to I know in my past I've been a people pleaser, and I actually had a very long conversation with a young lady earlier today at my studio, and one of the topics we talked about is learning to tell people no unapologetically,
Yeah.
because that's been difficult for me and it's something I've struggled with. And I said, I'm working on that this year because I too would show up for everybody. And I'm like, I can't continue to show up for everybody. I have to take time for myself. And it sounds like you're on the same journey as well.
Yes, I'm learning that, it's difficult. It is very difficult to say no, but the reality is every time you say yes, you are saying no to something else. And so that kind of revelation is what's helping me to be okay because I'm saying no anyway, but I'm
Yes.
saying the things that should matter. I'm saying no to spending that extra time with my little ones or just sleep. Sleep is absolutely necessary. And so, I'm just learning that I have to say no sometimes and that it's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm not a wonderful Christian.
Yeah.
I just have to say no.
You are absolutely right. And on the sleep note, you're right. That's something that I make sure. I turned 50 last year, and
No way. Where?
yeah, on the big five up.
How's it possible?
Not both of us leaning in, like trying to see where are you 50?
And there's no filter on here, I promise you. um, thank you so much. And I'll tell you that I would say probably when I hit around my mid 40s is when it really started hitting me that I have to get my 8 hours of sleep or I'm no good. I cannot function. I'm irritable. I become forgetful. It's just not healthy for our body. So I have a bedtime every night that I have to meet, and I sleep, and for my 8 hours, sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little less, but usually in that 8 hour mark. Otherwise, I'm no good. That team no sleep is out the window. Absolutely. And you were speaking on that you perform at some of the showcases. And I'm a big fan of that because my business partner and I, we do showcases with multiple artists out here in Atlanta once a quarter. And I think it's one of the best places for you to test out a new record because you can get that unbiased opinion from a crowd of people that you don't know. And like you said, they went up when you did Covered there. It's a great place to test out new music. So I'm a big fan of that as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Joshua, let's talk about some of the stuff you've done. You've over 50,000 in unclaimed revenue that you were able to recover. Gosh, we talked about earlier about people leaving money on the table. Tell us about that.
Uh, Without saying too much, I was consulting someone, and while consulting them, one of the first things I do is always look at the contracts. So I'm not an attorney, but I understand how to read contracts. So I was reading through the contracts, and I started finding some clauses in there, specifically in terms of what is shared, like royalties and things of that nature. And I started reading something. I'm like, you know what? Something seems off. I said, "Have you ever received this?" No. Oh, okay. You ever got this before? No. Why? And the thing is that thankfully, what ended up happening is that after doing some investigations, I reached out to the party that the person was connected to and was able to alert them that, hey, um, your name is still attached to something that should be off of by now.
Mm,
And thankfully, when doing that, instead of going taking legal actions or going to court, the person was very gracious and said, you know what, I didn't even realize it. I mean, again, without saying too much, the person's huge, um, but was able to just release thousands on top of thousands of dollars. And then even with Anissa, getting her signed up for just simple things like sound exchange, and then boom, a check appears. I did that same thing for a bunch of the other artists that I manage, and it's amazing how many of them don't know where the money is, and for some,
absolutely.
it's not their fault. Like they're out there trying to do their artistry. They want to, whether it's whatever genre you're in, but they just want to make music. But no one wants to share information, and the reason
Absolutely.
they don't want to share, don't they don't want to share information. For some people, they want to pull the wool over your eyes. They want to be able to put clauses in a contract because you can't read it, and all of a sudden you're getting this money on the back end that never belonged to you. So, yeah, I count that as one of my biggest wins because there's a lot of people I'm meeting. I'm like, oh, you have money somewhere. How do you know? I'm like, well, based on these things, guaranteed you got money.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And there's so many different ways to collect monies. Like you said, the Sound Exchange collects your digital royalties from internet-based radio, Sirius XM, Pandora, etc. Your publishing could be your performance royalties. There's just so many different ways. And my business partner, he's been in the music industry, the one I spoke on earlier, for over 30 years. And he's been involved in a lot of projects, whether it be singles or albums. And a few years back, he found someone got his business together that he was missing a few things and had a lot of money that was owed to him. And now it's coming in on a steady basis. And is that something that you would offer as a service to consult with the artist? Maybe they are a little lost in what to do. Is that something that you would be open to doing as a service?
No, that's currently what I do. So my consultation, it's A&R,
Hmm.
it's discovery, it's branding. It talks about the monetary side of it. So it's a bunch of different facets. So it just depends on what they're looking for. If I know that I have an expertise within that,
Yes.
I can help them with that. And then also I have attorneys that I can, pick up the phone and reach out to because I don't play those games.
Josh is definitely
Absolutely.
for artists, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something that you don't find so much in the industry. People say it,
Mhm.
but after you say it and there's no action behind it, we can't believe it. But with
Yes.
Josh, you really can believe it. He'll say it, he'll follow up, he'll do what needs to be done, he'll get you what needs to be gotten. And he's not looking like, okay, now that I got you there, where's my money? He's not doing that. He's like, enjoy yourself. And I just feel like, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's right. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Again, you're doing God's work because you are truly out here blessing people. And I really am a believer in order to receive those blessings, we have to be one and, bless others without conditions behind it because oftentimes people do stuff but there's conditions and we can't operate like that, because I feel like that's how we continue to level up ourselves, is just, lending that helping hand to people when we truly see that they may need it. Of course, now, bills do have to get paid, and there are some business things that we got to do, understandably so. But, I'm the type of person that I've worked with a lot of people, and I've done things, just because it felt right for me. And it felt better than receiving a check sometimes, just to help that person out and see them level up and them win. So it sounds like you guys are both on the same journey as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and then also too, like you said, bills have to be paid. I'm a firm believer in paperwork. I've always said paperwork saves friendships. So now,
Yes.
if you want to hold me accountable, go pull the paperwork up. If I'm missing something, it's there. But when I help people, if there's something that is owed to me based on our agreement, then it is what it is. But I'm not going to go in and try to get more. And I think that's what happens in this industry. People are always looking for more. And I think it's because some people have I guess, a poor mentality. If they've never really had a lot of money and they're, oh, something big's coming in. Oh, where's my, let me get mine. And, I'm like, I'm a firm believer that, if you do the right thing, God's going to take care of you.
Absolutely, 100%. And we have to do right by people, because otherwise it will eventually come to the light that we are doing people wrong. And I don't know, I have such a big conscience. I'm like, I can't bring myself to do that to people, because I have always been taught my entire life, treat others how you want to be treated. And that's just very important to me. So definitely. Anissa, where do you feel like right now, where do you feel like gospel music is going in the industry?
Ooh. Uh, it's interesting. I just think that um, it's music and industry that is leading, and not the gospel. And I think that's the biggest problem with in the gospel music industry. I almost feel like the word industry shouldn't even be a part of it. But the reality is people do have to eat and etc. But if we make the gospel the main thing, then everything else is going to do what it's supposed to do. And that's word, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added. But I find that there are a lot of people that's pursuing the things, and then the gospel part of it is being neglected. And there is an authenticity. I also think that we have to be really, really integral when we talk about singing about the good news, singing about Jesus Christ, and not living about Jesus Christ. Because then what happens is people who aren't feel welcome to come join this industry. And what we see, what I'm seeing, especially in the last half of the year, so many secular artists were like, hey, I'm gonna sing a song and just throw Jesus in there and call it gospel. And they're on top of the charts above the gospel artists, because it's just
That's a big discussion too.
That
yeah.
is a major discussion. And I think at some point I would love to talk about just that with you guys, because you're absolutely right. I see a lot of like hip hop artists transitioning into doing country music, and now they're this big country superstar, and it's causing a lot of friction between certain genres, because oftentimes they're doing it gimmicky per se, or they're doing it just to get their name for clout, as they call it. And I don't appreciate that, or I'm not here for that. So I love that you are absolutely true and staying true to who you are with your music, and speaking everything that you're supposed to through God, and not doing it like some of these artists out here that are just doing it just to get a little bit of attention.
Yeah, and it's not to say that people can't have lifestyle changes. I think that's what the gospel is about. It's about transformation. So if you've always been doing something crazy and you found Christ, and now you want to do something that lifts him up, I 100% support that. So I don't want it to sound like if you're secular, you got to be secular forever. No,
Right.
but there does need to be some integrity in what we're doing, in the way that we present ourselves, the way that we look, even on our cover art. So much of what we do is supposed to be about the gospel. And
Yes.
for me, I just want to make sure that I consistently present myself as lined up with the gospel.
Absolutely. I have a good friend of mine. He actually does some behind the scenes video work for me, and he's a stellar award winning producer, audio engineer. There's a young lady that we've done a lot of work with closely. Her name is Lachey Knox, and she won. I can't remember the artist that she did the song with that she won the Stellar Award. She has a new single out right now with Ernest Pugh, and he's so the young gentleman that I'm speaking of that I work with, he has also tapped in on the secular side, but he's doing it in such a beautiful way that it's not, dimming light or, with what he's done on the gospel side and, having earned this beautiful stellar nomination and award with his hard work. So it's beautiful when you see people who are actually walking their path and doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Joshua, I know that you have a faith-based clothing line with your brother. Tell us about it.
Well, first off, I was supposed to wear it.
Where is it?
Uh,
It's in a long day.
It's been a long day. It's still on my bed, waiting to be ironed by me.
Understood. Get a steamer. I use a hand steamer. It's so much easier.
I heard about those. But yeah, so my brother and I were starting a clothing line. We haven't started selling it yet, but it's gonna start off with hoodies.
Okay.
It's a popular thing, but we're going in a different route though. The route that we're going up right now, there's tons of cool Christian clothing. I'm wearing some of it right now. It says
Okay.
first. But a lot of it is based on leisure wear that I hate to say it like this, but it's at a certain price point that's very accessible, which is nothing wrong with that.
No.
But being in marketing and sales, you always look for holes in the market. So I saw that there was a hole in the market. There's nothing on the luxury or premium level in the Christian clothing lines. So that's where we're attacking. So we're doing super high quality clothing. We're doing very high fashion designs, everything from chenille to 400 to 600 GSM weight. Up that Louis Vuitton, Coach, every major thing that you can think of, they've been working. Oh, my wife's bringing it to me. Thank you, buddy.
Bless her. Oh, that is nice. I love that.
It is this is a lamb, and on
Yes.
the bottom it says "Worthy is." Meaning worthy is the lamb.
I love that. When will it be available for purchase?
So we are hoping to launch. We're doing a private launch in the month of February. After the private launch, then we'll be doing more, bigger launch from social media. But I'll say this: we're not necessarily in a rush. I know a lot of people, they want to like, let's sell, sell, sell. I'm into that, but being in the sales space, like I like doing market research. We did focus. We've been developing this thing for over a year.
Oh,
So I have failed designs in my house.
it happens. It happens. But
this
you have that marketing background. That's where that marketing mind's coming in.
yeah. So I mean, but I'm excited about launching that. I mean, I've worn it in places. I did something strategic on social media where I went viral about 3 or 4 times. But it was using some other people's content, but I wore the garment on purpose within the content.
Yes.
So people have seen this over and over again. I've had tons of people say, where'd you get that? When is it coming out? So I have a lot of people that are waiting on it. But we're doing one last tweak with the guy who's working with us. I'll show you this to you. Let me see. So on the wrist, there's going to have small touches like you see here.
Love it.
But on the other wrist is going to have something on there too. So it's cool, but we're not done yet.
Absolutely. So that's something we can anticipate later on in 2025.
Absolutely. That's a guarantee.
Congratulations on that as well. I know it takes a lot of work to come out and develop a new brand when you already have a lot of things that you're already working on. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. One more thing I want to talk about, Anisa, let's talk about your new single, I Mean Jesus All the Way. Let's talk about it. Tell me how the concept came together. Where were you at mentally when you wrote the record, or did Joshua write the record? Give us the deets.
I'm going to start off the conversation for her. So I call her Jesus's little sister. Okay.
Okay.
Right. they're both celebrated on the same day, December
Yes, my birthday
25th.
is Christmas Day as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
So,
happy belated birthday.
so the song actually came about. I used to joke about her and say, "Oh, you're so holy," blah 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 blah. And I said, I can imagine when you walking down the block, a song. I mean, Jesus all the way. And then after a while, I was like, wait a minute, that could
That
work.
kind of sound like something. And then I was like, we're not doing any songs that don't bring us to the throne room. Nobody is going
Yeah,
to be
she fought me on it.
slain in the spirit. Nobody's praise and worship team is gonna sing this song. So I don't want to do the song. That's what I said to him. But then I was like, ooh, it's got a vibe. I really like this. This is summertime. You could play this at your birthday parties because we need wholesome music. That's not always the throne room, right? We need music that you can play at the barbecue or whatever. So I felt it was really good. And then, so I believe that I'm a rapper, but I'm not. And I wanted to rap on the song, but Joshua said absolutely not. So we reached out to D1 and he was phenomenal.
Oh,
Like
God.
literally like one take and we were like, yeah, we love it. We love everything about it. This is perfect. And he's been tremendous. And when you talk about, integrity in the industry, he's been a very, very integral rap artist who has been really drawing attention to what needs to be in rap music and what needs to come out of it. Because like you said, our children are significantly impacted by the music. So yeah, we, collaborated with D1 and it's been absolutely amazing. It's been absolutely amazing.
That is amazing. Again, congratulations on everything that both of you have accomplished and still accomplishing throughout your journey. Anisa, is the song available on all the digital streaming platforms?
Yes, every digital streaming platform. It is available along with Covered and also my EP, Anisa, The Next Chapter. All of the music is wherever you get your music. Type in Anisa Fowler and you'll find it.
Absolutely. And shout out to Jay Anthony, good friend of mine. He's a phenomenal singer. He's tapped in right now on YouTube. He just said hi to both of you guys. Absolutely. For people who want to follow your movement, keep up with new releases, your clothing line, both of you, if you could give your social media, Anisa, we'll go with you first.
It's at Anisa Worships everywhere. ANISAWORSHIPS everywhere. So Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, of course. And on Instagram, I do Bible studies. So it's a lot.
Amazing. I'll definitely have to check that out.
And for you can find me at Joshua_Arnoux. So that's ARNOUX, the last name. That's what it's spelled. And then also I'd say this too. I mean, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. It's the only two ones I really use, to be honest. A little bit of TikTok. And I started a fan base page.
Oh.
So I have a fan base page. But also for new releases, we do have a live recording that we're getting ready to do next week on the 17th. That's featuring all the artists that I manage and consult, plus Jason Claiborne, who writes for everybody.
Wow.
We have one of New York locals named Melaine Rochford. And then we also have Mita Washington from SiriusXM.
Amazing.
To be one of our hosts.
That is amazing. So that is something you said that's in the works as of next week?
Yes, and that's a really big one. And I'll say this word because I know you're about to wrap up. The live recording, the purpose of it is to display, what's the word? It's the train of thought. It's to show collaboration.
Yes.
It's also to show that we can glorify God and to take the industry in another direction. You asked a question about the industry earlier. I'm also part of the Gospel Industry Coalition that was just started by the Stellar Awards.
Wow. Amazing.
They're designed to literally shift the industry. So you haven't really heard about it on purpose, but we're getting ready to make a lot of noise. I'm talking about in films, video games, you name it, wherever. We're going to be everywhere. And I'm one of the founding members.
Congratulations. Both of you. And again, I would like to at some point in time invite you guys to come back so we can dive a little bit deeper on that particular subject, because I feel like it's something that's being missed and people need to talk about. So if you guys are open to it, I would love to. I'll reach out to your PR team and invite you guys back to do that particular segment with me. And we'll take an hour if that's okay and just, dive in deep.
Yes, absolutely. That would be great. And just to piggyback on what Josh said, for anybody watching, if you are in the New York area,
Yes.
or even New Jersey, Pennsylvania, any place close, even Maryland, like come out to this live recording. It's going to be in Queens, New York, and it's going to be exciting. So just be, you can find the tickets on Eventbrite or either one of our Instagram pages.
And if when you go to Eventbrite, you just look up any one of those artist names and it'll pop up immediately.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate both you for taking some time. I know I kept you a little longer than I said I was going to, but
You're great, young lady. You're great.
yes, I like the young part.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, you both have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed new year, and I look forward to speaking with you guys both very soon.
Thank
Same
you.
here. Thank
Have
you
a
very
good
much.
one.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Have a